Hi, Landon.
Hey, I'm wearing my Christmas shirt.
Oh, so perfect. Well, we got lots of snow here, so we feel very Christmassy down here in our valley. How about you?
Awesome. Yeah, we didn't get that much here. Just a little bit.
Really? Wow, I'm surprised.
Yep, you guys got blessed.
Well, I know Mark was saying in Tooele they didn't get very much, but we got a lot in South Jordan, so it got better as I came north.
It did, yeah.
Well, we're excited to have our event today, our day 3 of our Kathy Quilts and Grace Company events. We've got some fun Christmas stuff, videos today, and some fun products, and always giveaways. So we love the giveaways.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to start off with a tree skirt video, part 1. And then we're going to take a little break and do the master cutting collection video. And then we're going to come back and finish off with part 2 of the tree skirt.
Yeah, and in between that master cutting and tree skirt, we're also going to do some Q&As. We can talk about some products. We can talk about any questions you had from the videos. And then also we're going to do some Plinko for those watching from home because, you know, we love some fun Plinko prizes.
Yeah, that's everything fun. From that.
So first, though, we want to see, I know we were having some problems connecting to Facebook. So if anybody's watching us from Facebook, please say hello because there was a little issue when we were setting it up. So we're excited if people are watching from Facebook and from YouTube and also the Grace platform. So just drop us a line and let us know where you're watching from because we always want to see where all the friends of Kathy Quilts and Grace Company are coming from. And then, Lynn, we'd love to hear how everybody can contact you and get all the fantastic help from Kathy Quilts and where they can get everything from you guys right now.
Yep. Well, right there on the screen, you can visit our website, kathyquilts.com or order team kathyquilts.com, and then that's our toll-free number.
So very nice. Yeah. Many ways they can get a hold of you for any of their Christmas stocking stuffers or great Christmas prizes.
Oh, exactly.
So we've got some amazing deals going on right now. So every time you purchase a machine right now in the month of December, you get a free frame. Now that depends on which frame is free is depending on your machine.
Yeah.
So exactly. With the Qnique 16X series, so that's the manual, the X, and the X Elite. And then the 19X series, the 19X and the 19X Elite, you can get a free Cutie, a Q-Zone hoop, or a Q-Zone queen frame, which is, everything that you need. But if you're deciding, I just need that continuum as well, you can upgrade to that for just $789, down from $3,000.
$3,000. So that's a great deal.
Yeah. And again, those come in 8, 10, or 12 foot if you're looking at that continuum frame. But those Qnique machines, and they're fantastic right now. And so just so everybody knows that are watching, and Lynn, what we're going to do with you today for your event, we're going to throw in a free 3-piece hopping foot set for all of the Qnique machines that people purchase. So they can only get it if they're coming through you. It's that 3-piece hopping foot set and a ruler base.
Yeah, that 3-piece hopping foot set, that's like $160, $170.
Yeah, and then the ruler base, the ruler base is the same way. It's $169.95. So we're throwing both those in for Kathy Quilts for their event today. So we'll run that through the weekend for you guys. So any machine purchased gets that free set. So that has the ruler base and the ruler foot, the micro stippling foot, and the open toe foot. So that's going to be exclusive to Kathy Quilts. You can't get it anywhere else. Can't get it from us. You have to go through Kathy Quilts to get that.
Nope. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
You guys
of course, rock. Yeah. And then also we wanted to talk about all our True Cut products are on special for 20% off. So that's amazing for the month. They make fantastic stocking stuffers.
They do.
They really do.
And then we also have for all the other hopping feet set, or if you're not buying a machine and you're like, I really want that 3-piece or the Wonder Foot or that new Quilt Perfect Foot, those are 30% off this month as well if you're calling through Kathy Quilts to get them contacted. And then our final is our free motion starter kit is 40% off. So that free motion starter kit, we'll show it later with our Q&A. We'll kind of go over that a little bit.
Well, that's awesome.
Okay, so should we get going on
our first giveaway? I think we should do. Absolutely.
We should do the first giveaway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me pull up the image of, so this is our 16-piece thread set.
Yes, we're going to do, the first giveaway is the 16-pack of finesse thread.
And then what are we giving away at the end of today?
The grand giveaway at the end of our event today is the Master Cutting Collection.
Ooh, I want to show that one as well. So I'm going to share my screen here. Let me get shared. There we go. Okay, I'm sharing. Let's see if we can see now. If you'll throw that in there. There we go. Perfect. So we've got, here's the 16-pack of thread. Now this is our finesse thread. It comes in 50 weight and it's a 3-ply. So you get 16 different images. So now that's the Snow White, Pearl White, Light Wool, and Smoky Quartz. Then we've got the Mountain Mist, Canyon Shell, Deep Forest Green, and King of Atlantis. Those are the variegated threads. Mm-hmm. Then we have Light Sand, Obsidian, Ruby Red, and Pink Rose. And finally, Blue Sapphire, Midnight Blue, Sunny Spring Day, and Vintage Turquoise. So half of the solid on that one and half variegated. But again, $175 value. Free for this winter. We're so excited for that.
Yes.
It's perfect to get you going on your quilts. You can do a king size quilt with this finesse thread and your bobbins. Mm-hmm. And so everything that you're needing to get going on that. So let's do our drum roll, shall we?
Drum roll. Give me a drum roll.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Brenda Johnstone.
Congratulations, Brenda. We've got, we will contact you. We've got your information. So we'll send out an email for your address and Allegra will get that sent out to you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So really quick, I want to show, let me come over here. I'm just going to show you the Master Cutting Collection. What we'll be giving away at the end of the day. Scroll down here. There we go. So the Master Cutting Collection has all these items that you see on the screen. It has our new quick release 45 straight cutter, and that also has the magnet on it. So you can pick up the blade really easy when you're switching it out. It comes with all these different rulers. So that's the 6.5 by 24.5, 6.5 by 12.5, 3 by 18, 12 square, 9.5 square, and 6.5 square. The 360 circle cutter, you can see it here. And then 5 packages of True Grips, as well as the True Sharp Master, or the True Sharp Sharpener. And then it comes with 2 45 millimeter rotary blades. So all of that amazing deal, it's a $299 value. That will be our grand prize. So stick around to the end of the event so we can watch, see who wins that one.
That sounds awesome.
Okay, so we're going to get started with our tree scoot video now, and we hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Hi everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining me for part 1 of my tree skirt and my tablecloth. So in part 2, I'm going to show you how to quilt it, but in this one, I'm going to show you how to cut it and piece it. I'm really excited because it turned out really cute. And it was a lot of fun and very easy. Even with my arm, it turned out, my husband did the cutting, so I just want you to, I will show you how to cut, but I'm not actually going to cut on this segment here. It was just 2 weeks ago, so I want to explain that I broke my arm. Dang it, wish I hadn't, but I did. And so I can't apply any pressure yet. That's the word, yet. I can't wait for the day that I can use my ergonomic cutter, and I know it will really help me as I transition into starting to cut again. And You know I can piece because he only did the cutting. I wouldn't let him do the piecing. So anyway, let me jump in and tell you how this idea came about. I love 60-degree triangles. They are fun and so versatile. If you don't have a ruler that is a 60-degree, you need to get one because there are so many ways that you can use it, so many designs that you can make, and this is just one of them. In an earlier segment for Tuesdays, I did a quilt called So Easy. So if you're wondering of what else you can do, you can check that video out and see what else you can do with the 60-degree triangle. But today I'm going to show you this little tree skirt. Now I did do a tablecloth as well. It's a little bigger and it's going to be a lot of fun, but I'm just going to show you on this little segment how to cut and what I did. So it all started with my little hexagon right here in the middle, and I used the 60-degree to sew them together. So as you'll notice, I was going to make it a hexagon tree skirt, but as I was piecing it together, I started changing my mind. So I decided that I wanted it to be a star-shaped rather than a hexagon. If you like the hexagon look, and it'll be a little easier to quilt, you could just continue on and add 2 extra triangles right here and right here, and make it a hexagon. And then you'll just leave this open right here and make your little circle. All right? So that's what you do to make a complete hexagon all the way around. Not hard to do at all, just a little different look. If you're going to do that, I would change the color and not make this one color so you can actually see the star. So I'd change the tips and maybe make them this gold color, whatever you want. You guys know what you like. And that's just a suggestion. So let's start out and talking about cutting out our little 60-degree triangles. So the best way to do this, because there's a little bit of waste and we want the least amount of waste as possible as we're cutting. So the best way to do it is decide what size you want your center to be. Now I cut these using the 5.5 inch on the 60-degree. So I just used this as my mark. And so when I was cutting my little triangles out, I cut out strips of fabric. Okay, you'll cut out strips of fabric and you'll use your 5.5, okay, because you want a nice straight edge. So you'll cut a nice straight edge all the way across, but then you want to go up just 1/4 of an inch higher or wider than what you're cutting, so that as you're cutting, you can go up and off, and you'll have the least amount of waste because of my fabric. So you want to use both sides. So you'll cut up one side and then down the other like that, and then you can go all the way across, and then you can flip it and come back this way. So you're using your 5.5 as well. So there's not as much waste. And I will tell you in the instructions how many of each color you'll need to make your star. Notice that I did my center, the lighter gold, because I was going to cut it out because I really liked this little red fabric. And then I sewed it together so that I could cut out my circle, and I'm just going to pick right up in here after I cut it. So anyway, that's what you'll do right there. So let's talk about, now that we're cutting, notice one thing on my ruler I'm missing, and I'm missing my true grips. You need to have your true grips, especially on these 60-degree rulers, because they really slide around a lot. And you want to stabilize them as you're cutting, because especially if you're cutting up one side and coming down this direction, it will help you so you don't have to make it so hard as you're cutting down. I've done it both ways, so I've gone up one side, gone over to the other side of the counter and cut it this way, but I've come back down this way, so whatever works well for you. So let's make sure that we put our true grips on, and really what you'll want to do is put one in the center on all 3 sides. So I want one up here at the top, because as I'm pushing gently on the ruler, I don't want it to veer off. So this will really anchor that top point. And we also want to anchor right here and right here. So you might want little stickers all the way along, all true grips all the way along, depending on what you're using. So these little inner dots are great for that. So if you wanted to put them on the number, they're clear so they don't impede the number as you're doing it. So it will really help you stay right there on as you're using it. So make sure you're using both sizes, the larger size and the smaller size. And like I said, the smaller size, I did it on that 7, but you can't even tell that I have a little true grip on there because it's clear and you can see right through it. So it's not going to diminish any of the lines, so you have clear sight and seeing all the way as you're cutting. So great product here. So don't just buy one package, buy more than one, because you will use them all the time. All right, so that's how I cut them. So I cut them in strips. Make sure you're not cutting any more than 4 layers. On this one, I like you to be a little more accurate. There are some cutting designs out there, like a log cabin or strips or like that, that can have a little bit of a variance, and you can adjust that as you're sewing. But these, we want to be as accurate as possible as we're cutting, so that it makes our piecing that much easier. And so just make sure that you do it, and always make sure that you cut your selvages off. Let me show you what it looks like when you leave your selvage on. Because like I said, I had my sweet husband, he cut, and he was trying to maximize the waste of my fabric, so he's trying to make it work. He kept saying, yeah, you won't be able to see this, will you? Yeah, you will. So cut your selvages off before you, even though you're going to have less to work with, it's really important, okay? So now this one I can't really use, but I could use it as a smaller triangle, so I don't really want to throw it out. So you just want to make sure. He did the same thing on this one too. Had that little selvage on there. So make sure you're having a full 60-degree triangle that you're cutting. Okay, so let's talk real quick about the piecing. After you've cut them, let's talk about the piecing. So I laid this out. I laid out my whole quilt, and then I started from the edge and worked my way in. But on this one, I worked from the center out. So I did this row first, okay? So I sewed up this row and laid it down, and then I sewed up this row, laid it down, and then this one. And I sewed these on after I had my little hexagon all pieced together. So I sewed my center section, this one first, this one second, this one third, then I went over and did this side, the same thing. And notice how it has a star within a star. That's pretty cool. And it's not even a circle, it's a hexagon. So it turned out really cute. So anyway, and then I sewed this together, and then I sewed on my outer pieces. So as you're piecing these together, okay, you're going to take one, you're going to pick up the ones that you've laid out on the table. So say I'm doing these 2 right here, okay, this row here. You're going to pick up these 2 here, and once you have the rhythm down and how it's done, then you can pick up more pieces. I just don't want you to get confused, and that's my biggest problem as I'm quilting. That's why I lay it out first and then go and pick it up. I think it's easier for me to go and take more time picking it up, doing a section at a time, than having to unpick because I screwed it up. So just learn from my mistakes that this is actually easier, and then once you have it, you can move on, okay? So anyway, or you could number them, I don't care, whatever works for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to put right sides together. So right sides together is the beautiful side of your fabric, and this is the wrong side. It's the faded, dingy side. So what you're going to do is put your right sides together like that, and then you're just going to sew your 1/4 of an inch all the way down from point to point. And then when you open it up, you have what looks like this. So you open it up, And you think, oh, how's that going to work? So you just have to lay it like this. Okay, so it would go like this. So this is this little section. And then you're going to do the same thing to the other side. And notice that if you'll do this one at a time, how you'll get your little seam allowance right there. So after you've done the first one, the first two, then you'll lay this next one, your third one, this one right here, on top of it. But you're going to use the little points. You're going to match them up point to point. So see that? How I have my little points matching up? And then you're going to sew all the way down, and you're going to do that all the way across. It's as easy as that. And you will be done in no time. So you're going to sew up this row first, doing that method. Then you're going to go to this row, and then you're going to sew the rows together. So when you're sewing the rows together, let me show you what I did. I matched up the points again. So I took my little points and I pinned them into place, and I went right through so that I was making sure that my points matched up, so I had a point. There's nothing worse than to see a triangle that its point is 1/4 of an inch down in because your seam allowances are correct. So just use your little points on your 60 degree and match them up, and you'll be good to go. And then I just sewed straight across, really easy, then opened it up, and then I just did it at a row at a time. Okay? After I did all the center section, I had, because I wanted a little different look. Yes, I could have continued on with this look right here, because notice that this is the same size triangle as this one out here. But I wanted to change it up a little bit. So I used this as my template, this triangle here, and I made this full triangle to sew on the edges. And it just turned out really cute. So there are lots of options and lots of different ways to use the 60-degree triangle and cut it out and make your tree skirt or a tablecloth. It doesn't matter. There's so many different designs that you can make. I have even more, but we're waiting till next year. I don't want to show you all my tricks and all my ideas right now. I have a lot of classes to fill in then, and so next year I'll even have more ideas and more ways for you to use the 60-degree triangle for your Christmas tree skirt or a tablecloth as well. A table topper, it doesn't matter how fun and how cute it will be. So another thing I just wanted to mention real quick is make sure that as you're cutting, this fabric here was a little directional. Let me show you a little bit about what I mean. So with my solids, I did a tablecloth, and I did it out of these two colors because I really liked them. But this, notice how the reindeers are up, and if I turned them this way, they'd be upside down facing you, or on the side or anything like that. So make sure that as you're cutting and turning it the right direction for you. Okay, so let me just show you. I have a couple of 60 degrees, and I'm just going to use the ones that with the selvages. But notice how when I put them together, the trees are going this way. If you don't like that look, then change it around, okay? So that they're at least going the same direction, they're not going to meet up. It would take too much time for me to make the Santa come out and actually piece out. I don't care. But if this bothers you, that the Santa isn't in the right way, don't use this fabric. The fabric's not right for you. So, as you're deciding on what fabrics to use, if this is going to be a problem, choose a different fabric. Maybe choose a solid, or choose something like this one here that has a smaller, denser design that you're not going to really notice what direction I have to turn it. So really important, and just something to think about for any quilt that you're quilting, is the fabric that you choose and how it will look as you're quilting. And then you can decide, hey, that's the right piece for this. But I really liked it, and it didn't bother me. But if it bothers you, don't do it, because it takes a lot more time unpicking, and it's a waste of your beautiful fabric. And fabric is too expensive to cut it out and finally decide, I can't use this because it's not the right fabric or the right designed fabric for this project. So let's just talk about this triangle here. You'll use this triangle right here as your template because I said I did earlier because I learned, okay? But I didn't, and I thought, hey, I was being really smart, but that's just gonna be the easiest way for you to cut out this triangle and make it the right size. I tried to be really smart and do a paper template, but notice how much bigger it is. So the 60-degree triangles, trying to figure out the sizes, it's a little tricky. So just use this one with the sewn seams as your template and you're good to go. So anyway, really excited about this. So join me at the quilting frame when I am going to show you some ideas and ways to quilt these fun tree skirt and tablecloth. I'll see you there. I hope you enjoy it. We'll have some great instructions for you, and I look forward to seeing all the ways and ideas that you have to use this fabulous tool, the 60-degree triangle, and how you would use it. So make sure that you send me your ideas and thoughts. It's Carla with a K, K-A-R-L-A, at graceframe.com. And if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, follow our Instagram or visit our website at graceframe.com or contact your local dealer. Really important. I'm Carla Jerome, and thank you for joining me here at the Grace Company. See you next time.
Hi everybody, my name is Mark Martin and I am really excited to be here. Particularly, I'm excited to show you our True Cut product line. It's been around for around 11 years and it's really a great product for some of the issues that we run into as we cut. And I'm going to ask everybody who's watching, when we cut our fabric and getting ready to piece our wonderful quilt, what are some of the roadblocks, not really roadblocks, but issues that we run into as we cut? Coming to my top of my head is veering away from the ruler's edge, going up and over the top of the ruler, maybe veering away from the ruler's edge as well. So all these things that come into play, and show of hands, as I talked about, how many of you had that happen to you? I want to say probably almost everybody has, right? But here what I'm going to show is our Master Cutting Collection. And it's a wonderful collection of True Cut products that will help you as you cut, make it easier, safer, and more accurate. And that's the bottom line. We want to make sure as you use the tools, the right tools, that you're cutting with ease and you're being more accurate. So I'm going to go over some of these products. We have several in this Master Cutting Collection, and it's going to be on sale during the spring fling, so make sure you get the special cost. But in this cutting collection, we have our Comfort Cutter. Now our Comfort Cutter is the best ergonomic cutter on the market, and I'm not just saying that to be funny. I know there's others out there that say they're ergonomic, but I truly want you to look and see what I'm going to do with this one, and I'm going to have you really in your mind go through like, wow, that does look like ergonomic, with the wrist being straight, your fingers, etc. So in this Master Cutting Collection, we have our Comfort Cutter. Now, the shape of it, as you can see, is one that we designed to make sure that the cutting force is above the blade, transferring down to the blade as we cut. As we do straight cutters or other ergonomic cutters out there, we tend to either move our wrist forward or we do something like this to get white knuckles. These are probably two common ones. Or we kind of lift up so our shoulder is above as we cut to get that pressure down. I'm going to go over some of these wonderful techniques that will eliminate the white fingers, the bending the wrist, getting above the cutter, and you're going to see all that can be resolved with our Comfort Cutter. Now, there's not a wrong way to hold this, but we do have a recommended way. I'm going to grab this fabric here. And as we go to cut, I'll talk about our rulers here in a minute, but I'm going to focus on our Comfort Cutter. Now, as we go, like I'd mentioned, to apply the pressure, we tend to do this. And it's funny because even when I'm at an event and I allow someone to use this, they first thing when I pick it up is they do something like this, because that's what they're used to, is getting the white knuckle, because that's the pressure. Now, as we go to cut, right here on the side, I'm going to see if I can get a close up here so I can show the mechanism on the blade. So as we go to, maybe you see it, but on the back side, right here where my finger is, there's a lever that we pull down and it shows the blade. And that's the safety of it. So true cut is very safe. We want to make sure you keep all 10 digits as we cut. All right, so now as we go to cut, the way that I love to hold and what most people like to do is holding it where your finger's up top. And I'm gonna go ahead and get this showing it here. And I'm gonna get into probably another up close here real quick as I'm holding it. So as you can see, my finger goes over the top and we have enough plastic here to really make sure that your fingers are safe. So I'm over the top, and what that allows is the palm of my hand be right above the blade as I'm going to cut. So I'm not using my fingers. My fingers, as I hold it this way, is supporting the cutter, so it doesn't fall out of your hand. So underneath, I'm not squeezing it as well. And on the side, my thumb is just resting to the side of the cutter. So from the very beginning, as I hold it this way, my fingers are supporting the cutter, keeps my wrist straight. I'm not bending my wrist or getting white knuckles or squeezing the cutter. And that to me is why I believe it is the best ergonomic cutter out there. So let's go ahead and do just a couple of strips of cutting here. So as I go to cut, now I am higher than the table. So if you were sitting down, you'll notice that my wrist is nice and straight. And as I'm rolling it right along, it's almost like a pizza cutter, as an example. I'm rolling it, and I'm not bending my wrist to cut, and I'm not getting the white knuckle. So I'm using my comfort cutter to roll and to make these cuts nice. And that, again, that's me banging down, and you can see that I'm keeping my wrist straight as I'm making those cuts. Now, as I stand up, I'm still performing that same way. And to kind of really show how really effortlessly it is to cut, multiple layers is pretty simple. Using the comfort cutter as we're not really diving in. So some of the questions, again, I go back to you is, what are some of the issues that you're running into that's really stopping you from doing what you love, from cutting standpoint, whether it's the rulers, the rotary cutter that you already have, maybe mats, just basically the right tools needed. So with the comfort cutter, again, I'm making those cuts, keep it nice and straight. And this comfort cutter can be used on any ruler you already own. And we all know, as cutters, you can never have enough rulers. So as I talk about our rulers, you're going to add to your collection. And the comfort cutter can be used with the rulers you already have. And you may own one that you're really familiar with. What's nice is this, again, can be used. Now, this also brings another dimension to cutting, which is being accurate. We talk about the ergonomics, keeping nice and straight, and you don't have to get above the cutter. Now let's talk about being accurate in your cutting. One of the things, obviously, that we use is a ruler and a rotary cutter. And by using both, we tend, as we go to the longer cuts, we tend to veer away from the ruler's edge. Or we go up and over the ruler because we want to keep that blade nice and tight against a ruler, we tend to maybe go on top. And our ruler can also shift. So we come across these as we cut. And again, as we have elements in our hand like arthritis, carpal tunnel, ligaments taken out, these can prevent you from doing what you love. And I promise you, as I go over these items, if you already own it and you love it, fantastic. If you're thinking about moving away or trying to upgrade your cutter because of these elements I talked about, go with our ergonomic comfort cutter. It's the best. Now, accompanied with our ruler, talked about these elements, we designed a track in our rulers, what we call it. It's a taller edge, and I'm going to get up close on this. Now, with the taller edge, right here on the side, this little lip here, the cutter itself is going to interlock with that. So I'm going to bring my cutter over, and I'm going to show you on my cutter, I have this black plastic guide is what we call this. And this interlocks with the ruler. And what that does is keep the blade right against the ruler's edge no matter what. So I don't need to press up against it to make sure I'm straight. Right now, as I interlock the guide, it is staying nice and tight against my ruler's edge. So when I go to make my cuts, it's going to be very, very simple, very nice, and again, accurate. And again, TrueCut is, we're all about easier, safer, and being more accurate as we cut. So let's demonstrate some of the cutting. I'm going to grab another fabric here. Now, as we cut, we line it up. As we want to make a 4-inch cut, we want to make sure we line it either on the mat or with the ruler. Now, as I go and make my cut, again, my blade is against the ruler's edge. And I'm going to show you, as I do this, you notice that the ruler isn't sliding to the left like you would if I were to put the blade up against it. It's going to slide, which then we have to put our hand on there to keep it from moving. And some people even put their whole arm. I've even had people talk about their knee as they're cutting on the ground. So this process, you can see that the ruler is staying nice and put. Now I'm going to go ahead and make that cut again, and let's line that back up. And as I cut, just so everybody knows, I'm not truly trying to line things up. What I want to show you is how easy it is to get straight cuts. Where you line your own fabric up, that's what you want. At this demonstration, I'm just going to put the fabric down, and I'm just going to do some cuts here so you can see how simple it is. So I'm going to go ahead and line that up. Now, as I press down, my hand, I'm going to keep just off to the side so I don't, that's what we're used to, is off to the side and not close to the edge of the ruler. So as I'm going to go up and make my cut, I'm going to get a straight cut every time. And you notice my ruler didn't slide. And I'm going to even do a little extreme as I'm talking about the two, is I'm going to put the fabric closer to the top. And we all know if I cut to the top and I keep my hand down at the bottom, my ruler is going to want to shift to the one side. And we've all had that happen, which is why we either walk up our ruler or we put our whole arm on there to make sure it stays straight. But not with the Master Cutting Collection, particularly not with our comfort cutter, with our guide, and all of our rulers. So as I go ahead and I can interlock that again, I'm going to simply hold down here. I'm going to go all the way up and make that cut without that ruler sliding. Because of the guide resting on the ruler, it presses down itself. So you have your hands holding it plus the guide on top of it. So you're really no slip. You don't have to worry about veering away because fabric can be expensive. So we are now being very accurate in our cutting. And it's very, very fun, and it's very easy as we put two together. Again, you can use this with your own ruler, or all of our rulers come with this track on the sides here. This also does another thing, is safety. Maybe you already have a cutter that you want to use. That press right up against this edge here to make sure that you're not jumping over the track. But as we focus on this entire Master Cutting Collection, you're going to get several items at a great price that includes most of our rulers, our mat, which we'll go over, and again, the comfort cutter. So cutting, I mean, I could do this all day as you're cutting. Because I'm not hurting my hand or my wrist, I can cut over, and I'm getting those nice straight cuts every time, which is fantastic. So for you out there who are doing a lot of cutting and you are realizing that maybe your hand isn't functioning as well, what a great combo package here to give you all the right tools to go forward. All right, this combo together is perfect. Now, as I'd mentioned, we have several rulers in this Master Cutting Collection, and we also have True Grips. True Grips, for those who maybe have owned True Grips and that's all they've owned in the True Cut line, it's pretty funny because as we go, customers always say, oh, I have those, and not realizing we have an entire setup. Everybody owns the True Grips. And what these are rubber rings. So these circles go on the back of any ruler. They are 30 in a pack, so you get 15 large and 15 small. And what you do is, I'm going to just take one off here. So this goes on the back of any ruler again, and these are clear adhesive rings. They will not take the view away from what you're trying to measure, and it will not raise your ruler up. So these rings go on the back of the ruler. So we already have several on the back of this 3x18 ruler, and that keeps the ruler from wanting to slide. So even though we are pressing down with the cutter, you also have the ruler from not sliding. I'm going to show you. So this one doesn't have it, and you can see it can slide. This one has it, and it keeps it nice and strong, right in place again, so you're being more accurate. All right, I'm going to take this to the side here. Now, with the cutter, you could also make it to where you can take this large guide off and use it without. Sometimes if you're using or you're doing very small cutting, this can get in the way if you're trying to cut without a ruler. So this comes also with another small piece, and this could go on it, and then this is where you can cut the smaller pieces, so that's great. Now outside of that, our rulers. Our rulers are very strong, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask how many of you guys can do this with the ruler you own without snapping it. Okay, we inject all of our rulers, makes them very sturdy, very strong, even with all these holes. Now let's talk about these holes. These holes are great for marking and for lining up your fabric. So as you're looking down, obviously if you want to line up, or if you know you're going to cut maybe 2 inches after you cut your first 2 inches, you can go ahead and pre-mark those and make those cuts. Very simple. Or like I said, you could hold it through. You could put your fingers through the holes and hold your ruler down that way. And that's on our 6.5 by 24.5 ruler. In the Master Cutting Collection, let's go over what's in it, because I'm sure you guys are all dying to know what's in this Master Cutting Collection. Well, we have our comfort cutter. We have several of these True Grip packages. Now, with our rulers, we have a 3x18 ruler that comes in this. We have a 6.5 by 24.5, a 6.5 by 12.5. We have all of our square rulers, which go from 12.5 square, 9.5 square, and 6.5 square. And we also have our fun triangle set rulers, from our kite ruler to our 60-degree angle and our 90-degree angle. So for those smaller pieces you're looking to do, these rulers are fantastic for them. And they all have the track on each of our rulers. Particularly on the square ones, there is a out process. So if you're cutting straight through, it does allow you to go straight through those rulers. So that is nice. So as I'm talking about these products, I want you to ask yourself a couple questions as you've been doing your own cutting. You know, does my cutter, does my cutter, does it fit in my hand right? Am I feeling these pains that Mark talked about? Do I want to be more accurate? I know we want to all be more accurate, and I know that as a quilter, you can never own too many rulers. So what a great package this is to have all these rulers again with what you already own. We also have our cutting mat. So our cutting mat, I'm going to move this out to the side. I'm going to talk about this here in a minute, is a circle cutter, which we have a perfect tool for the circle cuts. But with our cutting mat, mats, sure, people say, right, they self-heal over time, and that's true to an extent, but the more you're using your mat over and over and over again in the same spot, you can either delaminate your mat or you make grooves in there, and those grooves, as we cut our fabric, you may get some skipped cuts in there, and we may think it's a blade going dull, but you may have just some lines in your mats. Our cutting mat, now that comes in this Quilters Master Cutting Collection, is a 24.5 by 36.5. So it's a large cutting mat, and it is double-sided. So you're basically getting two mats for the price of one. Easy to read. The lines up here at the very top are the markings. So if you do bring your fabric to the top, you're still able to see exactly where you want to cut because the numbers are outside of your fabric. This is a 5-ply mat, which means 3 in the middle helps really that cutting process. So as you're cutting, the deeper you go, it does last a lot longer because we have 3-ply. And again, we have a back side and a front side. You also get these, you also get the non-slip pad to keep your mat from sliding. Just like the ruler slides, we all know when we cut, the mat can slide as well. So from start to finish with our Master Cutting Collection, you're going to have a much easier, safer way of cutting. You're going to be more accurate, and this all comes in a great price here for this event. We also have, I mentioned, like the circle cutter. Now, this is another one of those questions. How many of you like to do circle cuts for your fabric? Maybe some hands go up. It's probably because I don't have the right tool. Circle cutters, for the most part, can either bunch the fabric underneath, or it can move on you, or when you go do your cut, you may have a little tail at the end just because it slid on you. Our circle cutter has this wide base. So this circle cutter, you see the wide base. It cuts 2 to 12 inches in diameter, and this wide base keeps your fabric from wanting to bunch or move. So as we go to cut, I already have one right here, but let's go do another one. I love using the products. I'm going to grab another one of these fabrics. Now, this fabric isn't the straightest, right? It's wrinkle. Most of you guys may iron it, but with the circle cutter, as I go on and off the fabric, it keeps it nice and flat. It's not moving or bunching underneath, which allows you to maybe cut if you want to do certain shapes. You can go on and off the fabric. So let's go ahead and cut. I'm going to do a 8-inch circle. Now, under the blue knob here is where the blade is located, and this is the pin to keep it nice in spot so it doesn't move on you. And how we recommend cutting is I'm going to cross my hands here. That way I could get one nice, clean circle. So nice 8-inch circle. And then from there, you can put it in there and cut smaller. This is easy to adjust. I just twist this knob. Now I can move whatever size I am looking to do for the project that you're doing. So very simple. And again, because we're very safe and accurate in what we do, we don't want to have an accidental mistake or cutting of our hands. So right here on the side, there's a safety mechanism. You just slide that over and it prevents the knob from being pressed down. So that is a nice feature on our circle cutter. So circle cuts to straight cuts to our triangle set, you're going to have everything you need and more. You know, if you want to build with the tools you already have, this gives you a wonderful layout of exactly the right tools needed. And I love showing these when I go to events and people see it. I love when their eyes light up. And hopefully as you guys are watching this during this awesome spring fling, that your eyes were lighting up as you were seeing some of these. And especially if you know that you fall into the category of your wrist, you have the shakes, your fingers, your elbow, basically your entire arm as you cut, that you know using our comfort cutter, it will honestly solve all those issues as the pressure comes from up above and not with our fingers or moving the wrist. So combine that with the rest of our cutting tools, you're going to be set. There was one thing I forgot. Blades, right? Blades, we all know can be expensive. This cutting collection comes with a 5-pack of blades as well. So you get a 5-pack of blades with everything else. And I know, not so much maybe from experience, but from cutting enough as I do these demos, how important it is to have the ruler not slide. My wife's a quilter and she talks about all the time when she's cutting on the longer cuts, sometimes she, especially with the 6.5 by 24.5, right? The longer we go, we stretch and we tend to either go away from the ruler's edge. So this will eliminate that process. Thanks again for watching, and I will talk to you later.
Okay.
Hi again. Welcome everybody. So glad you could join us today. Hope you really enjoyed those videos about the part 1 of the tree skirt, and then of course our master cutting collection, which is what we're giving away later today for one lucky pre-registered winner. So thank you everybody for pre-registering. And so we just wanted to take a moment and see if there were any questions about either of those items or videos about the tree skirt, or if you had a question about True Cut in general. So put those questions in the comments. We'll be watching them. But also we wanted to go over just a little bit while everybody's putting those questions in. We wanted to show you where you can buy all this amazing fun stuff through Kathy Quilts. So we're going to show you the website really quick.
Yes, here we go.
Okay, so as you can see here, we've got, this is the homepage for Kathy Quilts on their website, which is kathyquilts.com. So you can see they've got their fun showing about today's event, and then they've got some of the fun things going on. I always like to come here, Lynn. I don't know if you always direct people here, but I always like to go to the hot deals first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's the current specials and everything that are going on.
Yeah, so we've got our, like we were talking about before, we've got our machines that are on special with a free frame. And then depending on which machine it is which frame you get, but also every machine is going to come with a free ruler base and a free 3-piece hopping foot kit. So that's all new machine purchases through Kathy Quilts going on right now. So right now you can see on the screen the 16X series. So the 16X manual, 16X and 16X Elite. So you can see the pricing right there. And then that comes with a free cutie or Q-Zone hoop or Q-Zone queen frame. Or you can upgrade to a Continuum for just $7.89. And then next, we've got this fantastic pricing for our 19X, 19X Elite, or 21X Elite. All those are fantastic. The 19s come with a free cutie or Q-Zone frame. And then the 21X Elite comes with that free Continuum frame. So the big, giant one for that 21X Elite. That's the only one that the 21X fits on is that Continuum frame.
Yep.
And then just going down for the specials that are going on, we've got our automation system. So this is whether you have if you're buying a new machine or you have a machine already, or you're going to use it with a domestic machine that's compatible. We've got our 20% off on all of the automation systems. So we've got beginnings, pro, upgrade, and the gold card. This is a great time to take advantage if you've had a gold card. They don't expire, so you can buy one ahead of time before yours expires and not have to pay the full price retail for that.
It's a great time to stock up on them and then activate them when you need them.
Yep.
And then next, we've got the quilting frame sale. We've got if you already have a domestic machine that you're thinking, okay, now's the time to put it on a quilting frame and get going. We've got our Cutie or Q-Zone hoop frames. That's great with that. Also our Q-Zone Queen, and then our Continuum frame. So all those are on special right now. So you don't have to try and figure out something for Christmas, right? And then our Cutie also comes with our free motion starter kit. So that one's going to be fantastic. We'll be looking at that one later. But those are all the specials we've got going on right now for our.
And I've got to say, yeah, I'm so sorry, but we're in the process of getting all the thread and all the True Cut things on our site. We don't have it yet. So if there's anything that you're looking for, we'll put that on there first, and you'll get free shipping on it as well.
Oh, awesome. So, yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
But if there's something, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I just, sometimes things just, you get busy and it's like, oh, dang, that's what I forgot. So anyway, we'll do free shipping on any of the thread or any of the True Cut things through the end of the month.
Okay, great. So, that brings up a point too. If there's something that you're looking for from a Grace product and you can't find it on Kathy Quilts, that's okay. Just give them a call, email them, that you can still get it ordered through them. Just, don't think, they just don't have it. They have it.
They do, yes.
Just contact them.
Yeah, exactly. And so you can see all those things on graceframe.com. And just when you see it, if it's like, okay, how come I don't see this on Kathy Quilts, just let me know. But hopefully by the end of the day, I'll have pretty much all of that stuff on our website.
Awesome. So, and as you go along, you can see there's different sections here on the left. So if you want additional information about an item, you can click on it and come through and then find additional information. So you can find, other pictures, you can find out extra things that can go on there, all those kinds of things. So here's some additional photos. I always love these photos that you do on your site so that people can get a closer look sometimes than what they can see if they're going to other sites.
Exactly.
Okay, so next, so did we have any questions come in, Allegra, that you saw?
Not on my side. Are there any on your side?
No, just people saying hello from Durant, Oklahoma, Fairbanks, Alaska.
Wow.
Norwalk, California, Georgia, Los Angeles, Ocean Park, Washington. So, we're so happy to have everybody watching and we're so happy to have you here. But, we talked about Plinko, but I went back and my Plinko board was replaced with my Christmas basket of goodies.
Yay!
So we have a berry Christmas going on right now. So what we'll do is we'll have a question and then we'll reach in here and grab a prize from our berry basket of goodies. So the things that are in here are, let's see, we've got a 360 circle cutter, a straight cutter, our square ruler combo, true grips, triangle ruler combo, rectangular ruler combo. So all the wonderful things that we usually have on Plinko is in the basket. So don't feel like, there's different things in there. So we'll have that option. So just really quick, Lynn, is there a question that we talked about at the beginning that you wanted to see if people had the answer to? Like anything that we talked about True Cut that was in the master cutting group, or in the
Yeah,
tree stuff, or something about Kathy's quilts that we could ask that question.
Yeah, I'm not thinking of anything right offhand. You know, I'm just
Do you have something
thinking
like that?
about Christmas and trying to,
Yeah.
get everything all ready, and so we're hoping that everybody will, if they want to get things for Christmas, there is a lead time now to get your orders in. So it's those days of being able to put your order in, and then they ship it like the next 2 days. Right now, that this is the busy time of the year, isn't it, guys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yep,
we do want people to know that it's taking about 3 to 5 business days for processing. And then once it leaves here, then it's into the shipping world of Christmas. So it can be delayed a little bit more. So
so
plan
don't
accordingly.
delay.
Now's the time. Yeah, don't delay. Now's the time. Get things ordered so you can have them in time for Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, there's still plenty of time, I think, for most things to be able to do that. Also, is there an update like when the 16X machines, I think didn't you guys kind of like run out and then you're getting a new batch in a few days or something?
Yeah, they're scheduled to come in soon. So if you had a 16X is totally in stock. It's just the 16X Elite machine.
Oh, just the Elite. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just the Elite machine. We've got another container coming in at the end of this week. We hope.
Nice.
Hopefully the snow doesn't slow it down a little bit. But yeah, so we've got those coming through, and we'll be able to ship those out before Christmas if you've placed your order already.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's great. I know that there's some people that are wondering about that.
Yeah. So did you have a question you want to talk about for TrueCut or anything?
I did. Yeah. I thought we could make it easy for a first question.
Okay. A first question easy.
What was Carla working on in part 1 of the video that we're going to watch part 2 of?
Oh, what the name of what it is?
Yes.
Oh, that is a very good question.
So
what was the name of the video? We said it just a moment ago.
Yep. Or the project that she's working on. They're the same thing.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, just put that in the comments and we'll draw a fun berry Christmas ornament here for that. So go ahead and type those in. I know people might think, oh, I don't need any of that stuff, but hey, you always want free prizes. Even if you already have it, you can use it to help another quilter, get their
regift it.
Yeah.
One less present you have to buy.
Exactly. Another stocking stuffer.
Yeah.
So let's see here. I know I can see people typing, so let's see what they're saying. Sometimes I think people listen to this as they're doing their quilting and it's like, oh, I got to get over to the computer or the phone and get all set up and quick, I got to type some things in. And what was that question? So the question again, you want to say the question again?
What project was Carla working on in the very first video that we're going to watch part 2 of after this?
So the name of the project or what she's working on, it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I can see people watching, so
we know you guys are here.
Okay, should we give them a hint?
Tree. Something about a tree.
Yeah, there you go. Tree project. What kind of tree project would you use for quilting?
Holiday decoration.
That's a good hint. A holiday decoration. Let's see. Okay. Either everybody is frozen.
We just went up in viewers, so.
Yeah. So we just went up in viewers again. So if you are just joining us, we were watching a video earlier about a project that Carla was working on, and our hints are it's a project. We're going to watch part 2 in a moment. Starts with tree, and then it's a decoration that you would use with your tree that would be quilted.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, Either everybody doesn't know what it is or
Radio silence, huh?
Oh wait, here we go. We have
Yay!
a winner. Christmas tree skirt from CA. Congratulations. Yes, that is correct. So, okay, Allie, you want to pick it in our ornament basket here?
Let's go down.
Down
Second
to the
level
bottom.
of berries.
Okay.
Every time you get a 360 circle cutter.
Oh, yay. Congratulations.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a fantastic one. We saw Mark demonstrate that, does the circles from 2 inches all the way up to 12 inches.
Yes.
It's fantastic. So what we ask is that you email Allegra at graceframe.com. That's ALLEGRA, and she will get that information out to you. So that, well, if you email her your address,
Yes.
There we go. It's up on the screen.
There we go.
There you
So you can email her your address and we can ship that out. Again, a fantastic stocking stuffer to go through there. So
My
thank you,
favorite
CA.
True Cut product. And I think every time I do a micro event, somehow someone always wins the 360 circle cutter.
Yeah, so thank you so much for that. So we've got part 2 coming up of the tree skirt. So we're going to go to that. Again, thank you for staying around. We've got a couple more things going on at the end. We're going to give away our master cutting collection for a pre-registered giver or winner. And so we'll join you in just a moment. Thanks, everybody.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Carly Jerome. I'm here with the Grace Company, and I'm really excited to show you, I'll give you ideas of how to quilt either your tree skirt or your tablecloth. Either one. In my first segment, I showed you how to cut out and sew together. You can pick either a tree skirt, you can do both, or the tablecloth, and the ideas are yours. This video, I'm going to show you some ideas on how to quilt it. But you definitely use your ideas and quilt it however you want. These, I'm just trying to spark some creativity and pull that out of you so that you can try something new. So with this, it's an odd shape, okay? Tree skirt or tablecloth. This is what I'm quilting today, is the tablecloth, and I'm going to use the automation. Now you could free motion quilt, and in my instructions on how to piece it, I will write down the ideas for quilting so that you can have those. If you can't come up with a design or anything like that, I will have a few for you to try out and use. So notice that we have a lot of empty negative space here on our backing. Now if you don't want that negative space, you can do, like I said in the cutting video, fill it in with your 60-degree triangles and make it a hexagon shape. And so then it will just be a little bit bigger. I liked the idea of having a star for a tablecloth, so that's what I'm doing. You do it however you want to do it. It's just a little bit more piecing, but it's not going to take any time at all. So let's talk about threads and thread colors. As you're quilting, that's one of the biggest struggles sometimes we have is what color are we going to quilt our design in. And so I pulled out a few different threads and just brought them so that you could see and you could decide. So this is what I do at home. This is kind of my process, is picking out my thread colors. I will open them up and I will lay the threads out, having the strings, and see what I like on the quilt. I have chosen the red, as you'll notice right here, to quilt it because I want the design to kind of pop. And I think that will look really fun. But if you didn't want the design to pop, this smoky quartz would be a really good one to use. Notice that it just kind of lay in the background. It will kind of pop on the red, but it would be a good one. Then we have this variegated grays, so it's a little darker grays and a little lighter, just like in my quilt here. So I'll kind of draw some interest and ideas from my fabrics that I'm using. And that's why I pulled this other red. Notice that I have a little bit of this little salmon pink in this. So this red here is a variegated red, but it has the pinks in it as well. So it might be kind of fun to use and draw a little more interest. Now with the variegated, you're going to have it go dark to light and light to dark. And so it's going to add a little bit more texture onto your quilt. And if you don't like that, just use the plain old solid colors. But try a variegated once in a while, just change it up. And then I pulled out this this spearmint. Now it's probably not the one I would use, but it works and it adds. So what is your color scheme for Christmas? And you might want to choose something kind of off the grid and go kind of a little wild and choose something like the spearmint and add a different look. So all of them will make the quilt look different. If I showed you the same quilt quilted in the different threads, you would see totally different quilts. And your eyes would be drawn to different areas. So that's what threads will do. When you're using threads, use the right size needles. So find out what size needle is recommended for the threads that you're using and use that needle. It will eliminate the thread breakage. So let's jump in and get started on picking out designs and ideas for quilting. So I've opened up my automation and I've come into my big design library. Now hopefully you have made your library a little easier to use than I have. And make sure that you're making your file folders easy to jump in and read and look at. But I just jumped into my batched folder. These are designs that I've purchased and that I like, and we're just going to go through and kind of talk about the different designs and how they would look on the quilt. So this quilt, you could quilt a couple of different ways. Now, you can quilt an edge-to-edge design all the way across and all the way down. It being the same design, you can decide how tall and how wide across do you want it, the spacing and everything. But remember, I have a lot of negative space in here, so it's a lot of quilting that you'll be cutting out and not using. Okay, but you could make maybe a placemat because I have a piece backing under here. You could do a placemat, you could use it for little coasters. So there's lots of ways you could use up this excess if you wanted to do that. So don't let that stop you from, because we don't want to waste our fabric and our quilt, and it'll be a beautiful design. So if you want to quilt it edge to edge, go ahead and be my guest. And I'll show you how to set it up for an edge to edge quilt. And that's the first one that we're going to run into. So let me get out of here, my file folder, and let me just pull a design. And I was in Select and Sew, but I'm going to come back out here. And I'm going to go into Pantograph. That's where you're going to set up your edge-to-edge design. But before you put your quilt on, you need to measure it. You need to measure the length and the width of it and write those numbers down. Okay, mine is 82 at its widest point. At the center point where the stars, when I folded it, it was 82 inches. So. Okay, so I'm going to go into my Pantograph And I've already set my safe area. So when I set my safe area, I want to say this too. I went all the way up over here off of my quilt to set my safe area, my first one, and then I came all the way down as far as I could, as far as it would reach, and set my other one. All right, and I have my quilt clips to hold my quilt up off the floor. All right, so my quilt is going to be 82 by 82 because that's at its longest and widest, okay? So my total width, see, I just barely have enough room. So it's going to be 82 because this was my safe area right here. And I'm going to put in my 82. Oops, sorry, that was 80. All right, so when you touch on this, your little pop-up window will open up, and that's where you can put your measurements in. Okay, so notice right over here it says the panto mode. That's the pantograph mode they're using. I'm using basic mode. For this one, I could use Power Panto. I could use Easy, so either one of them will work. Let's use Power Panto mode and show you what it's like. Okay, so I've selected my Power Panto mode, and I have my total width is 82, and my total height is 82. So let's go in and now select our design. So I'm going to come over here and I tap on select pattern, and now it's going to open up my library, and I'm just going to scroll down and see if I can find a design. Now remember, this is an edge-to-edge quilt, so I want a design that's called a continuous line design. A continuous line design is a design that has a start point and a stop point that allows you to connect your next design to. So when you're looking for designs and you want to cover your whole quilt, make sure you're purchasing a edge to edge, and it'll be an E to E design. Okay, so some of these are blocks, you can see, and some of them are edge to edge. And I'm just going to scroll through and find one really quick. And I may not even use the one that I'm going to show you, but I wanted to show you how to set them up and give you some ideas. So here's a little star one. That could be really fun. And it's a little star one that has a little loop in it. And because this is a star quilt, that could be really fun. So let's pick that one. And I'm just tapped on that little file, and now I'm going to tap on open. Oh, wow. You can't even see the design because it's scaled it because it was such a big quilt, but I can zoom in on it. But that's a little small for me, so what I'm going to do, and my stars are going to be 6 inches, so that's a pretty good sized star all the way across. It just looks really small because my quilt's pretty big. So let me zoom in and show you what it looks like. So this is your window that if you want to see what the design looks like, you're going to zoom in on. And see this little plus over here? We're just going to make it bigger and bigger. And see? That's a cute little star design. So I could use that. So notice the little stars all the way along. But I could space it, so it's spaced out a little bit more. So instead of them touching each other, notice right along here, you see a little darker line? That's where they're touching. So my spacing, and I want to space it vertically because I want to pull them apart. So then I'm just going to tap on my plus sign right here on the vertical spacing see how it's just pulling them apart. And I kind of like that even better. There we go. And see how much nicer that is? So if you don't understand how the automation works or what the design looks like, play around with the buttons. It's not going to hurt you to touch them and to see what they do. So just, and I really like that, and that would be a cute design all the way across and all the way down my quilt. And that's in the power panel mode. So with the power panel mode, it's going to sew all the way across and come back and forth and sew all the way down, and the only time it's going to stop is when you need to roll it for your next section and when you need to change your bobbin. Well, it's not even going to stop then. So you just need to watch it, but have fun designing your quilt. Okay, so that's with an edge-to-edge design. Let's go in and pick out some, or look at some triangle designs for our 60-degree triangle and see how that would look on the quilt so that you can decide the best way to quilt your tablecloth or your tree skirt. Okay, so let's get out of here. That's what's so great about the automation. I mean, there's so many different ways to quilt. Don't limit yourself. So now instead of the pantograph, we are going to come in here to select and sew. And that's where you'll quilt a block at a time, or so let's go in here, and now let's look for a little design that would look good. Now this is a block design, so it will have a start and stop point, but a point where you can't add another section onto it. So it's not like a continuous line design. So in that, and we want it to be a triangle design. So I have these little feather triangles here that you could use if you wanted that look, that are triangles. I have a little pinwheel shape you could use. I can't use a hexagon shape or a circle shape because, like I said, it is a triangle. I could use this little fancy marquise if I wanted to. It probably wouldn't look as good, or just this little up-down could be kind of fun as well. So as you're scrolling through, so let's go into our main library and see across the top here how I have some file folders that this one has patterns, this one says block, continuous line, and then I have another set, triangle. So there's a whole set of triangle section in here that you could use. So you can go in and pick one of these out that you liked, that you thought would be kind of Christmassy and kind of fun. Oh, I'm having a hard time. This is one of the harder things to decide and do. Like this one, this little bubbles right here could be kind of fun because it could be like little ornaments all the way along it. So you could pick that one, or you could pick something really simple. But let's just pick the little bubbles, okay? Right here. Okay, that's the little bubbles, but notice it's not in a triangle mode, okay? For quilting, it's in block, okay? So block, it has an upper left and a bottom right to place it. Now that wouldn't work for my triangle because I have 3 corners. So I want to move down, just using my little arrows, to triangle. Okay, so there's my triangle. And see, it's a 60-degree triangle, but my design here is a 45-degree. triangle designs. So try and find a 60-degree triangle design. And I think I have some out there, but I just wanted to show you this. So then if you want to change it, and this would work as well. So if I place this, it's going to stretch it. I'm just going to use my 45 as my 60. So I'm just going to come over here and place it and show you what it does, okay? I'm going to go up here. Right there. And then I'm going to come down here and kind of show you what the design does. So it's going to stretch it and make it work, but I could free motion quilt that and make it, you know, a little bit funner and a little more exciting. So this is an idea that you can use, or let's go find a 60-degree triangle out there in our designs and see what that looks like. So I'm going to come back up here to my select pattern, and I'm going to come over here to my patterns, because that's where I'll find my library of my patterns. We're going to come into this little folder. When you import designs, it will import into this batch folder. So let me open it up and see all these cool designs that I have. Here's another triangle that could be pretty cool and a lot of fun. And let's see what it looks like. See, it's a 45 degrees. So how you can tell it's a 45 degree, I don't have a lot of 60-degree triangle designs, but like I said, we can use the 45 degree and make it 60. So here's another little design. It's a little more intricate, so you could place that one as well. And just come over here, do the same thing, and see what it looks like. So it's totally up to you and how you want to quilt your quilt. You can quilt it a block at a time using a triangle design. You could quilt a little section of the triangles first, make it a little longer. So here's another idea. Notice right here, I have a triangle right here, and I could make it even larger. So I could go up here and set my top, but then I could make it even larger. So totally, again, up to you and how you want to quilt it.
That was fantastic. I love seeing all the amazing things that Carla comes up with in her patterns.
Yes.
But really quick, before we end, we just wanted to do our winner of our master cutting collection.
Yes, I'm
So
so
let's
excited.
do our drum roll
Let's
for
get a drum
that.
roll. Chuck Bennett, congratulations. I'm so excited.
Oh, awesome.
To do the master cutting collection.
Yeah, so check if you'll email allegra@graceframe.com with your information. If not, we will reach out to you to get that information so we can send that out to you in time for Christmas. And one last thing we just wanted to throw up again, kathyquilts.com, or you can email order-team@kathyquilts.com, or the phone number 888-826-0222 for all your amazing quilting needs, questions, and all of wonderful Grace products. Again, if you don't see something on their site, just give them a call and they can still get it ordered. And with all machine purchases, this time we've got the free ruler base and the 3-piece hopping foot set. So that's exclusive to Kathy Quilts. So check it out and go get your orders in before Christmas. So anything last minute, Lynn?
Yep. And then just for the people that were part of our event, they get free shipping on the thread, the finesse thread, or any true cut things that they order this month.
Awesome. That's
Perfect.
fantastic.
Yeah. So go to Lynn. If you don't see it, contact them through their website, their email, their phone number. They'll make sure that they get you what you need, and they'll do free shipping because you came to the event for them.
Okay, thanks. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays, and we'll see you next time.
And happy holidays.
Bye-bye.